Hi everyone, it's Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing my May TBR. So today we're going to be going over all the books that I want to read this month. I got a good little charcuterie board. Typical Amanda trifecta. We've got dark romance, contemporary romance, and fantasy romance. Let's just get into the book plans for May and hopefully it'll be a successful reading month. So first we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. This one is on the roster for May. I feel like every May I read an Emily Henry book, but I'm anticipating this one to be my favorite Emily Henry book. Not only is it set in Michigan, but it's also a little bit of a messy romance. We follow Daphne, who's engaged to this guy, and then he falls in love with her best friend. Then she moves in with her best friend's ex, so there's a lot going on, and then they form this like pact and bond to start fake dating. I think there's fake dating in this one, and oh, that just sounds so fun, and I can't wait to read this one. I love the cover of this one. The color scheme is so good, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it might be the first book that I read this month. Then we have quite the opposite. We have a dark romance. We have Cage of Ice and Echoes by Pam Godwin. This is the second book in her dark romance trilogy called Frozen Fates, and I just read the first one. And it is so wild, y'all. It's like Credence on crack, and you know I eat that shit up, so I loved it. But there's trigger warnings galore in this series. There's 3 men, actually there's 4. But basically, I'll give you the synopsis of the first one a little bit. This woman gets kidnapped from her rich life where she was going to have a baby with this man, and he's like a billionaire, and she gets kidnapped on the day that they have this super big argument about whether or not to keep the baby because the billionaire is like afraid of family. Something like that. And then she gets kidnapped by this man called Denver, and he takes her to this crazy like secluded mountain in Alaska where nobody's gonna find them ever, and she can't get out, and she meets his 3 sons, and shit goes down that you are not prepared for at all. At all. I was literally like, you think it's like, oh, kept her captive, yeah, this sounds good, a little dark romance. No, there's a lot more to the story. It gets way darker, so it's definitely triggers galore, but the first book left off on a cliffhanger, so I am eagerly waiting to pick this one up and find out the fate of these boys and this woman. Then we have an arc, a fantasy romance from my bestie girl Jayla. She was the editor on this book, so I'm very excited to read it. It's called The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. It's inspired by Beauty and the Beast, but also mixes Hades and Persephone into it. It follows Ren and the North Wind. The North Wind is like this immortal guy, kind of like Hades, and he is on the lookout for a bride to snatch, and he's looking at Ren's sister currently. And so, you know what's gonna happen. She's going to offer herself instead, and there's going to be some juicy bits. It's a slow burn, enemies to lovers. She even has her own page in the beginning of the book, so success is in my hands. But I will let you guys know how I feel about this one. Then we have our cowboy romance of the month, which is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This one follows Ford and Rosie. We meet Ford in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, which I'm sure you've heard about, but I love that series, so having this new spin-off is very exciting. But this one is a best friend's little sister trope, and that just sounds beautiful and spicy and glorious to me. So I've been waiting to pick this one up until I'm in the mood, but I'll be in the mood soon, hopefully. Then we have Here We Go Again. This one I'm also very excited for. I picked this one up in April and just haven't read it yet, but it follows childhood best friends that are kind of estranged now, and they come together for a last road trip to go visit their old teacher. And I think this one's gonna be a little bit of a tearjerker. It sounds a little bit more emotional, so looking forward to that because I love crying my eyes out. Then we have Pirate Girls by Penelope Douglas, which I also haven't read in April. April was just such a busy month, which is probably why you haven't seen many videos. It was just chaos. So I'm excited to catch up on all the reads that I didn't read. Now this one I have no idea what it's about, honestly. Kate and Hunter, but I need to refresh my memory on the characters in this series because Falls Boys, I loved that book, but it's been so long since I've read Falls Boys that I need to like refresh, but this is definitely high on the priority list. Then we have the Classic Literature Book Club, which is on my channel this month. It is an audience picks kind of thing. We picked Sovereign, which is a dark cowboy romance. So cowboy romance mixed with dark romance. It could be a match made in heaven, or it could be an absolute flop. But I haven't read anything like it before. I know Pam Godwin has some cowboy romances too. One's called Knotted. So yeah, if I like this one, I might have to read some Pam Godwin because I clearly have been loving her recently. So it should be a fun time. I think the first live show is up on my channel. It is on the 14th, I think. So that's a Tuesday. Then we have the Winer's Pick, which we're actually combining Fragile Enchantment and this book together to discuss. But this month is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. And this book is a kind of, I think it has like historical fiction vibes, but also witchy. And it follows a sisterhood of 4 women. And I think you follow all of their lives as they go through. And it's set during the times of Queen Elizabeth. And then lastly, I do want to read On the Line by Naomi Loud, I think it is. And this one is an interesting, fun read that follows a line cook kind of romance. So the bear meets romance. I don't know if that's the case actually, but it sounds really good and it's been floating around the community a little bit and it's been having some good reviews. So I would love to pick that one up if I have some time left. But yeah, those are all the books that I want to read in May. I'm specifically looking forward to TV this month. So we've got Bridgerton coming out, which I'm so excited for. Literally, it's all I'm thinking about. Like, I'm like, what time is it? Also, I'm watching Survivor, which I know is like really old school. But let me tell you, I love Survivor so much. I would literally go on the show, but everyone in my family says that I couldn't do it. But I really think I could. I actually do think I could. And I kind of want to do it just to spite them. But yeah, I'm watching that right now. I'm loving this season. So I'm going to be sad when it's over. But yeah, I just can't wait for Bridgerton season 3. I already rewatched the entire series again. So I'm caught up. I'm ready for the pining and the carriage scene. Be sure to like, subscribe down below for more bookish content from me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!